Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Attraction Faction. My name is Tyler.
My name is Katrina.
And today we're going to talk about
the Boysenberry Festival at Knott's Berry Farm,
Easter at Disneyland,
lunch at the Garden Grill,
the Critter Country refurbishment,
and dinner at Napa Rose.
Oh yeah, dinner at Napa Rose. Well, today here we are starting off with Knott's Berry Farm as promised. Here's some of the spring kind of entertainment they're providing for everybody, and they kind of just took over this fountain, put a nice stage on it, and there's Linus, and yeah, they just played a bunch of pop music and had a dance, basically. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty, I don't know, it wasn't the best, but I think my favorite part is this little guy coming up in the hot air balloon.
yeah, yeah, Woodstock was pretty great. That was probably my favorite part, too. I think the Woodstock little puppet there was great, and you can kind of see that there's like a string holding him down. I couldn't figure out what was doing it until I rewatched the video, but yeah. And they got the kids out there, and it was actually just kind of a nice celebration, I gotta say. Up here is some of the Boysenberry Festival stuff, a little bit of decorations, and we're headed into Ghost Town to look at the decorations now. What did you think about kind of their setup? Did you like all the decorations, the flowers and everything?
I think the decorations and the flowers were pretty interesting. It was clever how they, got the boysenberries up there. For me, it was kind of plain. I mean, I see what they did there, but I don't know. I thought it'd be something more.
Yeah, I guess. I guess I was just happy with. I think what would have done well for me is if they would have had a little bit more flowers, a little bit more specialness, but it was still nice nonetheless. The way that the Boysenberry Festival works is you can head over and get a map and head to this cart, and they sell these. They not only sell boysenberry plants, but they sell these little plushes too. And these people will actually sell you a card which will give you 6 different dining opportunities, including fried alligator.
They have the barbecue chicken wings.
And corn on the cob with... All of this stuff comes with boysenberry stuff,
Right.
And yeah, it's all boysenberry. All of it is boysenberry. Nothing without it. They're including deep fried cinnamon buns with boysenberry cream cheese on top, which sounds crazy, but that's what they are offering.
Yep. And then here's the map where you can find all these different goodies.
I wish they would have told you exactly what was at each stand, but that's fine. Yeah, they had things like hot dogs with boysenberry ketchup on them, and here's the corn on the cob stand. This is the one thing that we tried that was boysenberry themed.
With the boysenberry butter, but for gluten-free people, keep in mind, I couldn't eat this because it was contaminated with barbecue sauce from the chicken wings.
The boysenberry barbecue sauce is not gluten-free. It is
Yeah.
not gluten-free, so the butter tasted like barely anything. It was hard to get the boysenberry flavor. But the next thing we did after that was head over to the wine tasting and craft brew area, which is over in the dance hall right now.
Yep.
And this was actually probably our favorite part of the whole festival.
It was my favorite part.
Yeah. They give you this card. Do you want to explain it?
So the card was about $20. You get 6 options. They had different kinds of wine varieties. It includes this fruit plate with cheese and fruits and vegetables and crackers. And
we did it twice, and both fruit plates were very different.
They're very different.
Yeah.
You see, there's cheddar on one,
Yeah,
and the upcoming one is
pepper jack.
Pepper jack.
And for the gluten-free people out there, be careful of these are green tortilla chips on this one. The other one, they were white. They are flour tortillas, so be careful of what you're biting into.
Yep.
And here's a look at the wine and craft beer area, and a quick little jaunt through here. We're looking at all the different wines. They even have little spit buckets, but come on now. You're paying $20. You don't want to spit your wine into this.
Right? We had 6 options, so he got 2 beers, which we'll talk about later, and then we tried 4 different kinds of wine just to kind of go around and check what they kind of tasted like.
Yeah, and as you can see, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really neat, and they even had a little seating area outside, which we'll take a look at in a second, but it was cool to just walk around with your little plate. It almost reminded me of the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. because you just walk around with your little plate of food and you just go and get different wines, and some people pour heavier than others, right?
Yes, that's true. So there was a couple people where we got a pretty good glass of wine,
Yeah.
some not so much, but it's actually really quiet in here. It's not too busy, not too loud, which is really relaxing after how busy it was outside.
It was good to get away from the sun, and this guy, he was telling us this was like his second day on the job or something. He'd never even opened a bottle of wine until then, but good job he did it.
Yeah.
But here's the outside area, yeah. I love those little topiaries. I think those are incredible. The little boysenberry.
And the Snoopy.
Yeah, here right next to the dance hall, like I said. Yeah. It was a really fun time. And outside as well as the seating area is the beer. And they also have boysenberry beer, which is crazy. Now, obviously, you cannot have it if you're gluten-free, but the boysenberry beer, we even heard one gentleman being like, I don't even taste the boysenberry, which is almost true. I would say it's even lighter. If you've ever had a Blue Moon, it's even lighter on the orange, or on the boysenberry, than that is on the orange. That tastes more like orange than this does taste like boysenberry. There's also a cappuccino stout and an IPA, and it's all done by Elysian. I never tried the IPA because I don't like IPAs that much. My review would be it was hoppy, but the boysenberry was great. I thought it was pretty good. Barely tasted the boysenberry, and the espresso stout was also very good. It tasted like a little bit like chocolate, a little bit like coffee.
Yeah.
Here next up was they also had a boysenberry pie decorating area for the kids. This was in the Berry Tales area, and here's some classic Berry Tales art. There's an old ride at Knott's Berry Farm here.
Yeah. If I was a kid, I'd totally be down to just create my own little pie. I think I thought that was a really cute idea. For $4.99, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was about $4.99, $5.50 or something like that. One of those, and they just had little games for kids to play and whatnot. And here's a picture area. They almost look like grapes to me, but those are supposed to be boysenberries. A little fox man. He's a pie thief, and not only did they have the food and stuff, but they had this cart set up.
Little gift shop. The only problem is the sun's aiming right on it, so a lot of the chocolates were melted.
Yeah, the chocolate was pretty melted, so keep that in mind if you're going to buy some.
Yeah, this awesome lady, I don't know her name is, but she was making an owl.
I believe it was Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
We caught the end of it. But
yeah, she basically works on this chainsaw. She does a bunch of work. We'll show it in a moment. But she uses this chainsaw and these different tools to go through and basically carve these animals. She does a lot of bears, a lot of owls, but you can see here the amount of work that goes into it is pretty astounding. She's just covered in wood.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I used to do woodworking when I was in elementary and high school, and it's definitely pretty dangerous and also time consuming. But if you like to do that stuff, obviously if you put music in your ears and you just kind of just do your thing, it works out. Yeah. And I even saw that a lot of people were super impressed that she was able to do this. And
taking a torch to it even to add some color to it. She adds some color to the eyes, and she brought it out here at the end. And she was asking everybody want to touch it? It's still warm. And, anybody want to feel it? It's warm. Don't, go for it. She was very excited. We were very excited. We said, that was awesome. And she was ecstatic. Look at her. She's happy. Lisa, that's her name.
Lisa. And this is some of the works of art that they created that you can purchase.
I think that the little bears are very cute. I think that I wonder how many of these are hers and how many, if there's other woodworkers as well.
True.
Yeah. But next up, we went to go see Crazy Kirk. They used to be over at Disneyland as Billy Hill and the Hillbillies. Now they're Crazy Kirk and the Hillbillies, and they were fantastic. I love them.
definitely thought this was pretty exciting to see. I loved the end song, The Devil Went Down to Georgia. We also filmed it, so check out our other video on YouTube. And then next up is, I was pretty hungry since I couldn't eat much at the Boysenberry Festival.
Not very many gluten-free choices at the Boysenberry Festival, to spell it out perfectly clear.
Not too much, so I went over to just get a chicken sandwich. And also, just be warned, even this isn't even gluten-free. The gluten-free bread is obviously gluten-free, but they contaminated it with their gloves. They didn't change them. They touched normal bread. With this, it was alright. It's not the best. There wasn't any sauce on the bread. The bread was cold. And so, I mean, at least I got something in my stomach. But once again, just be careful when you go to Knott's Berry Farm if you're really, really sensitive to gluten.
Right. Yep. And next up, I just wanted to show a quick little tidbit on the construction here on this new ride that they're building. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. The Iron Reef, I believe. But it's just going to be kind of a 4D, I don't know, 5D, I guess they're saying, whatever. It's going to be, you're shooting at a screen, I think. There's going to be a lot of weird little sea creatures. But that was our time at Knott's Berry Farm. And the next day, on Sunday, Easter Sunday, we headed over to Disneyland!
Yay! And if you see right here, they actually added a couple more things onto the castle, which is actually pretty exciting. We were wondering if they're going to put more stuff on the castle to make it bring out the whole diamond anniversary.
They added a lot of little diamonds hanging on the turrets there. You can see that's a lot. They've added the little rose in the middle of the little squirrel guys. And they've also added some kind of spires to the tops of these towers. I think it actually makes them look a lot better, especially like those kind of see-through towers. They look a little strange before the spire was on there. Anyway, next we headed back over to the Easter Jamboree at the Big Thunder Ranch, and here's the finished product from last week that Ray was working on, and it looks pretty amazing if you ask me.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to see it.
Yeah, and here's Chuckles from Toy Story 3, just a couple eggs that we missed, that are new from last week, not that we missed, but they're new this week.
Yep, and up next is the Tiki Room egg, and then the cool pineapple on top, which I like.
Reminds me of the old Adventureland Juju they were giving out last year. Next up is one of my favorites as well, is the Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit. It's unfinished, but it doesn't take away from how amazing it looks. I think it looks really great. Yeah, and then this one's actually a really interesting one, the Jungle Cruise egg. Yeah, and I got 2 shots of this one because it's got a lot to show you. You just gotta love the hippo part, you know.
Yeah. I love the castle in the back.
Yeah, that's cool too. And here's another one I think Ray did that we didn't see last week, was a little Boba Fett action.
And here's the finished product of last week, was Robin Hood and Maid Marian. We showed you the beginning, and this is the end. Yep. And it looks pretty good. And I think one of my other favorites is this Fluff Ball from Captain EO. He's amazing. I love that guy. This is my favorite one. I can't wait until next week we see it. It's the Beauty and the Beast stained glass. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be amazing. Next up, we headed to lunch at the Paradise Garden Grill. It's been kind of doing Mexican food for a while, doing hamburgers and fries for a while because Smoke Jumpers was opening up soon. But here we go. We headed over to get some Mediterranean food. And this little area here, that used to be a shop over in like the Bugs Life area. Now they've moved it over here. They repurposed it. Here's the menu. What did you love this place, right? I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. It's really fresh. Not too much food. You know, and then there's pretty good gluten-free items. We usually get the sauce on the side. At the bottom, you get to choose your sauce. Yeah, there's pretty oily, so we just get on the side. The kids' menu is pretty exciting, and they have a pretty good sangria and some beer. And then here's mine. It's the chicken skewer with rice and cucumbers. Mine's gluten-free, of course. So I got the chimichurri on the side. They give me more cucumbers because I don't get pita bread. Yep. I have to eat a different kind of... I eat white rice because the normal rice they give you has pasta in it, so kind of like a rice-a-roni in a way. Right. The rice is a little bland. It was a little overdone this time, too. It was a little overdone, but it was good altogether. But most of the time it's good. Most of the time it's good. And mine, I got the beef kefta. They just call it spicy meatballs now, but they used to call it beef kefta. And mine comes with a little bit less cucumbers, a little bit more pita bread, a lot more pita bread, actually. I got the tzatziki sauce, and it comes with rice pilaf rather than just the straight white rice. And I love this meal. I think this is one of the best quick service places in Disneyland. And, of course, while you're eating, you get to take in
different bands all the time. Today was this band Adelaide. They were pretty enjoyable. They were really nice, and they were out there singing "Happy Birthday" with the little kids and stuff, and it was great. And yeah, next we head over to Critter Country. The refurbishment is over.
Yeah, and if you definitely see over there, the grass looks a lot greener.
They definitely added some new grass, as we'll take a look in a second here, to a few of the areas. Not many changes. I actually expected a little bit more for how long Critter Country was down, but they refurbished Splash Mountain and Winnie the Pooh, obviously. But here's some of the grass you can see. Here are some logs that they've added to the back of this briar patch shop. They've also added some new grass here.
Some greener grass.
It's definitely much greener. And here's the train going by. Not many changes, like I said, to Critter Country. Just pretty much the same. It just looks just nice to be able to go over there again.
Yeah, I think they just did more like little touch-ups here and there.
Yeah, it was little paint jobs.
If you look over here, they just kind of redid the leather pieces around the banisters.
You notice the banister changes, how they just have new pieces there. And the next thing we'll check out is the Hungry Bear. This is probably where they did the most extensive remodeling. There's a little bit of... You can see the green paint is all new. And I don't know about you, but I think this guy has got to be one of the best things in Critter Country.
Of course.
Look
at
him.
He's a staple.
He's a fancy guy right there. Look at him with his ketchup.
His ketchup and burger.
But I like the new green. I think it looks pretty nice.
It's pretty good for especially they're doing the dessert there now for the Fantasmic show.
They needed to
redid that.
Right. And the menu is pretty much the same. So if you're going there looking for something new, don't worry about that. They still have hamburgers, a fried chicken sandwich, a fried green tomatoes, and some kids menu options. The tables were pretty much the same. They added these new shaded areas, and it just looked a lot nicer. You thought it just looked better put together, right?
Yeah, I mean there wasn't major changes. It just more cleaned it up and made it look nicer, especially for the dessert thing for Fantasmic.
Right. Here's the bottom seating area. Nothing really different here. I mean, looks pretty much the same. But I thought that might be interested. So have a very great day. We headed over to have dinner later in the night over at Napa Rose. It's the first time we've ever been there.
Yeah, it was actually really beautiful when you walk inside. It kind of has like a feel of a winery, obviously because you can see the wine on the sides. But it was a really relaxed atmosphere, a little fancy, which was really nice.
Probably, I would say, the most upper class food in the entire resort, I would say.
Yeah, I really like the lounge too. It was very quiet. The fireplace over there, and you can actually get dinner served in the lounge if you can't get a reservation inside.
That's right. If you can't get a reservation, show up around 5 to 6, and you will definitely be able to eat dinner at the bar in the lounge area.
Yeah, and we even came during Easter too, and this is what it looks like.
Yeah, this was an Easter Sunday. Don't forget. Here's their kind of wine cellar area, and they have a number of very nice wines, as well as some John Lasseter wines there from the Lasseter Vineyards. And this is the dining room area. It was very nice, very open. They have a huge window in there.
It definitely reminded me of like a resort, when you walk into some kind of resort in the wilderness. This is what I would feel like you walk to in a fine dining restaurant.
I felt a very Northern California vibe to this. It was, and even certain things like the light fixtures have kind of a rose design to them in an abstract kind of way, and you can see here the wines. The servers bring around the wines for you to give a little taste before you choose a wine. They give you a little taste, and then you're like, yeah, that's good.
You definitely transported into a different world when you come here. You don't really remember you're in a theme park.
It's true. It's not very theme park. You've never been to a restaurant like this at a theme park. That's true. But there's the kitchen, and you can see all of the chefs being very busy, and they're working hard. And you can see the people sitting there at that front. They actually are at the chef's table, and they get special meals produced for them every night. Things not even on the menu, so I might have to try that sometime. Sounds good. But so that was the restaurant. Here we are. Here's our experience coming in. We sat down at the lounge.
Mm-hmm. We got a lemon drop.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. I'd have to say it was not as sweet as a lot of lemon drops I've had in the past, and it was pretty decent.
And here's the menu.
Yeah, a lot of the starters were... everything here is very small, so the starters, like the lobster salad, very tiny. We didn't get that. We saw another person eating it. I got the cappuccino mushroom soup. It isn't really cappuccino, it's just play on words.
You'll see that later on the reason why. And I think the appetizers seemed really interesting as well. We saw a couple next to us order them, so maybe we'll have to try that one day.
Yeah,
try to
definitely.
get them as a snack.
Here's some of the main courses. We both ended up getting the steak, the ribeye, but we'll get to that in a moment. Here's the bread that I received. It comes with an olive sourdough, a sort of dinner roll, a Parmesan sort of crisp, and to be honest, I think it's like a pumpernickel bread is the last one. I'm not sure. It was good.
And this is my part. This is a gluten-free, what they call it, flatbread. It's pretty much pizza crust, but they put Parmesan cheese, and I believe it's oil. I don't know, and you can see that gooiness.
Probably
so
better
really
without the
rich.
cheese.
It was really rich. I would say maybe get it without the cheese.
It was good though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's my soup. It is cream based. They put a little froth on top, which is why they say cappuccino. I even asked, and she kind of laughed at me. But it was good. It was mushroom, very mushroomy, pretty, not that thick, but it was still good. And I ordered a Chimay White, and it was huge. Look at this goblet they gave me. This thing was massive, and it was delicious beer, and I just thought I should share how huge the glass was, because it was truly awesome. But we both ended up getting the ribeye eye.
Like the eye of the ribeye.
Yeah, right. And what did you think about it?
I thought it was actually really good. They actually give you that tender piece around the ribeye on top, so you don't miss out on that as well. There's no fat I could ever find on this, which was pretty hard to do for a ribeye.
Comes with potatoes, a little horseradish cream sauce, and a little kind of couple sprigs of Brussels sprouts, which I barely had in my plate, but I thought it was alright. I thought I would go to Steakhouse 55.
I would go to Steakhouse 55
if you want
as
a steak. If you want a steak, I'd go to Steakhouse 55.
You know, it was actually really good. Every bite you have flavor, but for the price is $45 per person, and it wasn't a lot. And then also, I was kind of a little upset because we couldn't finish it all because he had the soup and we had bread. And so I asked for some of the steak to go with the potatoes, and
they didn't leave that stuff there.
They boxed it up, and then I opened it up the next day, and the potatoes weren't there. So just keep an eye on it, just to make sure that they give you everything for $45.
Exactly. Exactly. I can't make that point any clearer.
But all in all, it was really good. It was a really good experience. I liked it.
Right. Well, that's going to do it for episode 2 of Attraction Faction. That was a great episode, if you ask me. I loved everything, but I hope you guys will join us for another one. Please follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Tumblr, everything. My name is Tyler.
I'm Katrina.
Have a great night, everybody.